There. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, today I want to talk about something that I really feel like, at least I haven't seen, talked about nearly enough out on social media or any, public platform of education, personal growth, spiritual growth, and development. And that is the problem with having a masculine man, right? I think there's so much attention in the feminine space about how to attract in a masculine man or how to inspire more masculine energy out of your man. There's so much focus on that. And I did do a video prior to this one about attracting in a masculine man. So if you're still looking for information on that or on how to inspire more masculinity out of your current committed relationship with a man, check out that video I did prior about getting a masculine man. But in this one, I'm taking a step further of once you've recognized that you've gotten into this feminine space of being able to draw in a man with more of that masculine power, that masculine energy, then the struggle then the struggle shifts into recognizing where you have to go deeper into your own femininity to receive his masculinity. So what do I mean by that is I'll give you a personal example, and it's kind of fascinating because this literally just happened to me this morning with my boyfriend. So, the thing that really attracted to me to my boyfriend right from the very beginning, from the first day I met him, was he was very strong and still is strong in his masculinity. And that was very attractive because I knew that's what I wanted. I knew I did not want to repeat past relationships where I felt really alone, in the sense that I felt like I was the one who was making all the things happen. I was the one planning all the things, initiating all the things, making the dates, reaching out, connecting. And then even in my former marriage, I felt like I was doing everything. I had to do all the things, and it got me to the point of total burnout and resentment and anger. And so I knew I did not want to do that again. I knew I did not want a passive man in the relationship. I wanted a masculine energy in a dynamic with me. I was very clear about that. And a lot of women right now are very clear about that, which is fantastic. So once you've moved into that space, once you've drawn in now a masculine man, then the problem becomes all this awareness around how hard it is to receive all that he wants to give to you. Because at its core, that's what masculine energy does. Masculine energy loves to give, it provides, it protects, it does. It's a doer, a doing energy. That's masculine energy. And that's why it's so attractive to the feminine, because the feminine loves to relax. The feminine loves to receive. And then she expands on what she receives. But the problem is if you have an existence like mine, if you had a prior story, life experience before this awareness around masculine, feminine energies, if you had a life experience where you felt very alone and you had to do all the things by yourself, right? Or you had to become very independent. You had to become very self reliant. You feel like you could only really trust yourself to make things happen in your life for yourself. You had to do all the things to make anything happen for you in your life. Or maybe even way back to childhood, emotionally. Maybe emotionally, you've always felt like too much and people couldn't handle all the emotional energy. You're super sensitive, right? They can't handle that. And so you have to deal with it all on your own. If any of that sounds familiar to you, it's going to be a really big challenge in relationship with a masculine man to receive everything he's gonna want to give to you. Because in the past, you have had to go out and get it for yourself. So being in a very relaxed, receptive state and allowing the man to give to you is going to be very challenging. And that may not make sense in this moment. So let me give you an example from my own personal life. because this literally just happened to me this morning with my boyfriend. Okay. I've been working on this for years, and clearly I still have some work to do. Because this morning, and this sounds so stupid, but just think about this, follow through with this on me for a second. This morning, we were talking, and he said something to me that was very sweet and loving. Very sweet and loving, something that I loved to hear from him, something that I would always want to hear from a guy that I was in a relationship with. And I noticed that as soon as he said that sweet and loving thing to me, I started feeling uncomfortable. And so I instantly questioned him and I said, "Are you sure?" And that was my response. "Are you sure?" And then I went back into myself for a minute and I said, why am I questioning this and why am I feeling uncomfortable with an expression of love? And then I realized I was feeling insecure. And then I realized because those are things I had never heard before in other relationships with men. I'd always secretly, my heart had always wanted to hear those kinds of things. I had always wanted a man to give me that kind of loving verbal communication, but I had never received it previously. And so having someone give it to me created all this insecurity around me of questioning it. And I've been with him for 2.5 years at this point. You would think it would be easy at this point, but clearly it's not. So think about this. I want to go into the energetics of this a little bit deeper. The problem is because you get overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a really great indicator with feminine energy about what's happening. Whenever you're in a state of nervousness or anxiety, those are key emotional aspects that feminines find themselves in quite frequently. I really do need to do a video on anxious attachment style. I promise it is coming. I just keep getting distracted by all these things I want to talk about. In the state of overwhelm, what has happened is you have received energy from someone and now you don't know what to do with it. You're holding this energy. In my case this morning, I was holding loving energy, loving words, loving communication. And it was so overwhelming to me that I didn't know what to do with it. So I was feeling uncomfortable. So I started questioning it. And when you start questioning something that a man is trying to give you, basically you're taking what he has given you and you're trying to give it back to him. It's like you're rejecting it because it's causing so much happening inside of you that you don't know what to do with it. That's literally what's happening and sabotaging so many relationships that I see, where a man is trying to be masculine and trying to give and provide, and the feminine can't receive it because it creates all this emotional stuff happening, which feels overwhelming, and then we don't know what to do with the overwhelm. So in some way we give it back, whether we question, whether we get sarcastic, however you respond, that is not in a soft, open, receptive, radiant way. The healthy, healed, divine feminine would take this, receive this love, and radiate out appreciation to the masculine. That's what is happening because he basically is feeding your heart with these love, vocalizing love. He's feeding, watering, nurturing my heart. And so what the feminine does with the nurtured heart is she radiates out more love and appreciation, which is more food for the masculine, actually, and encourages him to keep giving to her. And this is how the cycle goes of feeding each other in the masculine feminine dynamic. So I really challenge you, if you're in a dynamic, you're meeting someone or you're in a relationship with a man who does have masculine aspects and you're trying to encourage more masculine out of him, or you're having any kinds of these things happening in your dynamic, really sit back with yourself for a second and see what's happening with you. And recognize if you're actually able to receive all that he's trying to give you, or do you kind of step away and need a minute maybe, or do you try to like give it back or question it or make fun of it, make little of it, think that his intentions are not pure and good? Notice what you do when a man tries to provide and give for you. For some of us feminines, this does not come naturally because we've had a life where we have not been given to. So it feels very foreign to have someone come in and all of a sudden give you all these things that you've always wanted and you've never had. And you've had to struggle. This is the thing. You've had a life where you have had to struggle to try to provide these things to yourself on your own. So to have someone come along and just offer them to you on a silver platter, it's confusing and overwhelming. So you have to go back in. This is nervous system healing. This is nervous system strengthening and expanding, of opening yourself up and learning how to receive loving energy and letting it feed your heart and your soul. So I hope this video helped. Really hope this message gets out there. If you found value in this, I would seriously appreciate it if you would like and subscribe so this can be more visible and seen and spread out there in the world. Thank you so much for those who have listened with an open heart and an open mind. Have a beautiful day.